The Revolution, Part 3. Well, the critics do consider one of the reasons for an Islamic revolution in Iran that it could be Pahlavi Shah's support for the opaque petroleum price increases earlier in the decade, when President Jimmy Carter enacted a human rights policy which said that countries guilty of human rights violations would be deprived of American arms or American aid. This helped give some Iranians the courage to post open letters and petitions in the hope that the repression by the government might subside. The revolution that substituted the monarchy of Muhammad Raza Pahlavi with Islamic revolution, and Khomeini is credited in part to the spread of Shia version of Islamic revival. While often described mainly as a religious revolt, the revolution also grew from a mix of nationalist goals, political populism, and religious radicalism. It resisted westernization and saw Ayatollah Khomeini as following in the footsteps of the Shia Imam Hussein ibn Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam, with the Shah playing the role of Hussein's foe, the hated tyrant Yazid. Other factors include the underestimation of Khomeini's Islamicist movement by both the Shah's reign, who considered them a minor threat compared to the Marxist and Islamic socialist, and by the secularist opponents of the government, who thought Khomeinists could be sidelined. Tobacco protest in 1891. At the end of the 19th century, the Shia's clergy, ulama, had a significant influence on Iranian society. The clergy first showed itself to be a powerful political force in opposition to the monarchy with the 19 I beg your pardon, with the 1891 tobacco protest on 20 March 1890. The long-standing Iranian monarch Nasiruddin Shah granted concessions to the British major G.F. Talbot for full monopoly over the production, sales, and export of tobacco for 50 years. At the time, the Persian tobacco industry employed over 200,000 people, so the concession represented a major blow to the Persian farmers and bazaris, whose livelihood were largely dependent on the lucrative tobacco business. The boycott and protest against it were widespread and extensive as a result of Mirza Hassan Shirazi's fatwa judicial decree. Within 2 years, Nasiruddin Shah found himself powerless to stop the popular movement and cancel the concessions to the Britishers. The tobacco protest was the first significant Iranian resistance against the Shah and foreign interest, revealing the power of the people and the ulama influence among them. So they sought a loophole in the monarchical system, and they thought if we could protest it effectively, we could gain the power. Next, we talk about the Persian constitutional revolution. In 1905 1911, there was the constitutional revolution, the process. The growing dissatisfaction continued until the constitutional revolution of 1905 1911. The revolution led to the establishment of a parliament, the National Consultative Assembly, also known as Majlis, and approval of the first constitution. Although the constitutional revolution was successful in weakening the autocracy of the Qajar regime, the previous regime, it failed to provide a powerful alternative government. Therefore, the decades following the establishment of new parliament, a number of critical events took place. Many of these events can be viewed as the continuation of the struggle between the constitutionalists and the Shahs of Persia, many of whom were backed by the foreign powers against the parliament. Let's talk about Raza Shah 1921 to 1941. Insecurity and chaos that were created after the constitutional revolution led to the rise of General Reza Khan, the commander of the elite Persian Cossack Brigade, who seized power in a coup d'etat in February 1921. He established a constitutional monarchy deposing the last Qajar Shah, Ahmad Shah. In 1925, being designated monarch by the National Assembly to be known therefore as Raza Shah, founder of the Pahlavi dynasty. There were widespread social, economic, and political reforms introduced during his reign, a number of which led to the public discontent that would provide circumstances for the Iranian Revolution.